But anyway, here we go. The start of the race is about to begin.
I'm back in time, thank God. Right, and it's lots out on away.
And we are away! It looks to be a pretty decent start from Dylan, but has Crispy got a better one?
Crispy appears to have
Dylan has
got
moved
to start
to
right
cover
now.
off him off.
Oh.
Dylan's moved to cover Crispy off, but at the moment I think it's
Crispy
Dylan.
into the lead. Crispy is
As there is carnage behind, Race Roller has dropped a plumb last, but yes, Crispy has taken the position on Dylan. However, Dylan might have wanted that because he is going to be able to get the slipstream on the Crispy and potentially take the lead, as Dylan and Midzi have made a bit of contact as well. But here comes Dylan. Is Dylan going to get the position? Is Midzi going to maybe get in there as well? Dylan's going to try it round the outside of Crispy, and he's done it. What a move! Crispy's coming back at him. Crispy's coming back at him, and he's done him. He has done him straight back. What a start to this race. Crispy got overtaken by Dylan at the end of the comp chicane, but said, thank you very much, I will take that better exit and take that position, as Dylan's got a penalty as well. That is a disastrous start for Dylan. He's lost the lead, and I mean, I saw he presumably got 2 warnings going through Eau Rouge and Radion, and he's picked up another one there, and well, I mean, if he wants to win this race, he's got to hope the others around him get penalties, or
and Race Roller has spun.
Oh no, the championship's P2 driver at the moment is having an absolute wretched time as well. I mean, Dylan is still in P2, so he's still in a good position, but the 2 Red Bulls have not had a good start. And someone who has had a good start, though, is Silly Bunny. He started in the midfield, but he's absolutely sending it on these first few laps. He's moved up into P7, goes and passes Division. They make contact, and Division is still there, but Bunny is going to try and hold it around the outside. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Division gets the position. Let's have a look at the position changes. Who's made the most places up? Bunny has made 7. Beast has made 9 positions in the first lap. I take it all back, Beast. Your division start on the softs has paid dividends with that better start. And Jitto Arben has damage on lap 1, and Race Rollers had that spin, and wow, I mean, what a frenetic start, especially at the front of the race. What a move by Crispy to reclaim the lead, Jay. Brilliant start from the Mercedes driver.
Wow, honestly, that was great. I think that battle of Dylan with the 3-second penalty will hamper him a lot going towards the end of this race. So it could potentially him doing that could throw away with him as FRT.
Alfie's lost his wing. Alfie has lost his wing. I don't know how he's done that, but he's lost his wing and has dropped down to 17th place on lap 1, as Beast has moved up into the points now on his fresh soft lap tyres. This is absolute carnage. YOLO Gamer on his mediums is still staying with this train as well, so he's doing pretty well in P9 as well. Definitely want to keep an eye on
Jam
at the end of the race. As Jam's got past Riggs as well. Yes, that is a crucial move. Jam has moved his way up into P11. Whilst other drivers have gained massively around him, he's had a pretty standard start and only gained a couple of positions, but...
Okay guys, my
oh, wow.
Oh, we have another spin, and that is Arben.
That is Arben.
I'll take it back.
Anyway, here, now on to lap 3. DRS has been enabled. DRS has been enabled, as I think that's Riggs pulling into the pits, presumably he's got damage.
Okay, so
yeah, DRS has been enabled, and can Dylan get back past him? Can Dylan get back past Crispy? They've got similar ERS, and I think Dylan, with that penalty, is going to want to lead the field away. He knows he's going to have really good pace. He's rinsing his battery. But here we are. Crispy, is he going to defend?
Here comes SLR battery.
And he's gone round the outside and taken the position. Dylan moves back up into the lead, and I get the sense that Crispy, he's biding his time. He knows Dylan has a penalty, and he feels like he can stay with him. So he's just biding his time for later on in the race.
And
the yellow flag is set to 3 Arbens in the pits, yes.
Yes, after that.
After that spin and that damage, Arben obviously feels like that's that for him. Oh, Zydrad's gone. Zydrad has gone. He has spun. I don't know whether he's made contact with somebody, but he has gone, and Para's lost about a second or so as well. But yeah, that's It's another spin, and wow, I mean, this is a crazy start to this race, and I mean, just those position changes are all you need to know. As looking at this, Dylan certainly has some pace. He's tried all he can to try and break out of that DRS of Crispy, and he's nearly done it. I think looking at the gap, he's definitely got a bit more straight line speed in his setup than Crispy. And is he going to break that DRS? It's going to be close. He might do at that, Dylan. He's just finished over the second now. Is Dylan going to be potentially out of the DRS of Crispy, and could he potentially pull this gap and still win this race?
A fast gap as well.
45.3.
That's a great lap from him there.
And looking at this, I think he has just broken the DRS of Crispy, only just. But that is absolutely pivotal for this race. If Dylan is the quicker driver than Crispy, as I feel he might be, at least around this track.
We could see a potential movement to P8 here if he can get the run on Gamer. And Gamer pulling away on the straights.
Speaking of a run, Division's got one on Parry. He thinks about it around the outside, but does not make the move stick. As V2X Combat's got past Jam and taken that position as well. But yes, Dylan, after that penalty on the first lap, has broken a second on Crispy, and
Silly Bunny is right on the back of Division here. Could see a move. There's a nice train here from Division, but the Division have damage. He was right at the back of Power, and I think seems to have dropped off. He had damage for that Ferrari car P6. Or he's not liking the start set 2, I don't know, but there is a nice...
I mean, potentially could just be dirty air, because it is very, very difficult to follow here. As looking at the front, Crispy's composed himself and has got back in the second. As his yellow flag, and who is that? That is Ghost Colt.
In the wall, and
Ghost Colt has had a spin.
Does get damage. Oh, we'll go on board. He's going to go back to the lead. Report.
Doesn't look like Ghost has damage.
He does not. It's a back two.
But anyway, on this lap, Crispy was a little bit quicker than Dylan. There's a 46 flat, and despite losing that DRS on lap 1, he... Crispy's composed himself and is looking to now be pretty quick himself, as Dylan of his battery took that second as well.
Down from the straight. City Bunny might...
As City Bunny's tried it as well.
But Power's very nicely covered him off there, and that is Division past up to P5 on lap 5. Let's see. Yolo Game,
look at this top
getting a nice run at City Bunny. All has come down to City Bunny and Yolo Game, and Yolo Game is past. Now on the effect from the UK boost is up in here, but
this is the point of the race where those soft compound tyres do begin to show their age, and YOLO Gamer on his mediums, Beast on his newer softs, of course on his fresh softs from starting in last and getting that free tyre choice. Both of them definitely showing a bit of pace now with those tyres, as we are potentially quite close to seeing the first pit stops here. Not a million miles away.
Well, we'll see. Crispy back for the underplay.
That's a good question. One thing that I would say these top 4 have, of course, is that buffer. As Bunny's got it back up the inside of YOLO Gamer, and YOLO Gamer's had to cut the final corner and has got a 5-place grid penalty for 5-second grid penalty for trouble. That was weird. That was scary. That raised my heart rate a bit. That YOLO Gamer and Beast kind of just teleported into each other.
I should have laughed.
Can you keep another eye on YOLO Gamer's connection, please? But meanwhile, I've got to be focusing for the battle for the lead here, because Crispy did maybe look like he was going to drop back from Dylan, but he stayed in that DRS and he has got the position. And now UK Beast Assassin has got past Silly Bunny and got the position as well.
I don't know what happened there.
That's his yellow flag, and that is Jam. Jam has spun. He was in a position with mediums, and Alfie's with He's retired in the pits.
Oh. Still no safety car though. Which we'd love to see.
Still no safety car this race. But yes, Jam has unfortunately had a spin and has lost about 8 seconds on his previous time, as he was in the DRS of V2 and running quite well on the alternate strategy there.
And now we have...
But yes, UK Beast Assassin up 13 positions is something though.
Cheeto in P16. Not really in the fight for anything at the moment. Get the 3-second time penalty. And or sell my console.
Yellow flag sector 3. Division's out. Division's out. He's crashed. There's a VSC. Is that going to change into a full safety car?
It has.
This is surely... Yes, it is. This is going to signify the pit stop for these guys. And this is bad news for Bezzers. Bezzers is going to have to stack behind his teammate. And looking at this, they're all going to have to come in here. Bezzers really thinking about whether to pit or not. But does elect to pit. It's definitely going to lose out quite a bit. Beast floods in. YOLO Gamer has decided to stay out. Fair play. As does Jib Jab.
It's like he's brought the unsafe pit release thing on.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Crispy's appeared relatively fine. Oh, although Dylan's lost the position to Midzi. So maybe it was not on. Maybe the unsafe pit release thing was not on because Dylan has lost the position.
Riggs has put it again.
Oh, and look at that. Bezzers has lost positions to V2, Silly Bunny, Beast, Para, Beast and Para, due to that double stack. And I mean,
sorry, but depending on how this goes
Bezzers never gets luck. I have to say he is the unluckiest. Pretty much the unluckiest driver in SLR in this season in terms of...
Beast starts to get to
Beast! He's got a penalty under the
regardless of where he finishes, if he gets in like the top 5 at the end of this race, and you can be good for my driver of the day. Depending on where he finishes.
Oh, 100%, but that is a slight little flicker of... That is a slight little negative blot on his record for this race, that little penalty. But yeah, I mean, Alfie retiring in the pits, I mean, I guess this safety car kind of just shows why Alfie shouldn't have retired in the pits. As, I mean, anything can happen in the race, as the safety car demonstrated. But I wonder what these drivers on the hards are going to do, as Ghost Colt picks up a penalty under the safety car as well. So, I mean, drivers struggling to stay on track limits under the safety car. It's a pretty silly mistake for the pair of them to make, but, I mean, can happen.
It can, certainly.
But yeah, my question here is now, will the likes of Jam and Ham elect to pit again off their hard compound tyres and change onto a set of mediums to go to the end of the race? Because the hards are going to be very slow here. And will the likes of YOLO Gamer and Jib Jab peel off into the pits? No, they do stay out.
Interesting.
Let's have a look at the first hard runner of V2. Is he going to pit? Nope. Is Jam going to pit? Yes, he is. As is Ham. I have called it. They are doing the double pit stop here, and they are going back onto a set of mediums.
Okay, so we've got the two most confusing names at SLR can probably get anybody to mix up on point. Jam and Ham.
Everyone has. Everyone has. They used to be called Jam Ham and Ham Jam, their gamer tags.
Oh,
and that was even more confusing. But yeah, they've elected to pit twice under the safety car. Lost a bit of track position, of course, but...
Is there any context between why they're called?
They are going to have...
Is there any context behind Jam and Ham, why they're called Jam and Ham?
Jam is short for James.
Oh.
Ham, well... I guess they probably wanted to have a similar kind of name, and Ham's name is Harry, so I guess Jam with an H works for that one, but that's my guess.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's my answer to that one. But yes, they have elected to pit twice under the safety car and get onto a set of mediums.
I'll be intrigued to see how they put this strategy put up for them. Right, so.
Yes.
That'll be right. Bold prediction. Someone's spinning a roof.
And someone who's now back into this race as well is Race Roller.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
he was plumb last after that spin?
It was, yes. But now it's back
on
into P11.
lap 1. He's now up into P11, and YOLO Gamer and Jib Jab still have to pit. And Beast and Dylan have penalties. And V2 is on the hards. But yeah.
Right. Oh, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. When left second heat is out.
And you know what I'm going to do just before the safety car comes in? I'm just going to have a little cheeky look and see who's winning the BFE race at the moment. Oh, actually, no, we can't, because we are getting ready to go. YOLO Gamer and Jib Jab are going to be the drivers leading us away. This is going to be a crucial stage of the race for the likes of Crispy, Midzi, Dylan, Para, Beast as well, who is in effective P5. He does have that penalty, but he has gone from last to effective 5th in not very many laps at all, in about 8 laps. It's been an absolute monstrous start to this race for Beast. He woke up and he chose overtaking as what he wanted to speak in this race. But here we are. YOLO Gamer has sent the field away, and it looks like Crispy's been caught napping a bit by YOLO Gamer and Jib Jab.
He has, yeah. I'll go pull that back quick time.
And this is going to be more difficult than you think to overtake as well, because they will not have the DRS. Well, they will have the DRS, but the cars ahead of them will also have the DRS, Crispy mentioned, of course. So this is just about being clean through Jib Jab and YOLO Gamer. They've taken a risk, Jib Jab, YOLO Gamer, in staying out with the hope that they can hit onto the softs later on this race. And of course they get a bit of track position, but at the moment Crispy doesn't even look close to a move. But someone who does look close to a move is Race Roller on Bezzers. Thinks about it but backs out of it and does not go for that move. And Zydon and Riggs are battling it out a bit for P14 as well. Losing a bit of time in battling they are, but...
I was about to say I was very close, but it's just been said to restart, they're going to be.
Indeed, unless someone spotted the restart, which nobody did. So we're all in good, but anyway. YOLO Gamer still leading everyone, and Jib Jab still keeping close behind, and
Crispy's not present as fast as we are.
They've not been swamped. Crispy is not using much of his battery at all, though, and I do wonder whether he's potentially just wary that the easier move will be done when DRS is enabled, and he ultimately just wants to use his battery to keep Midzi behind him. Not taking any risk at the moment is Crispy. He is in that effective P1 at the moment, of course, as Jib Jab and YOLO Gamer do have to pit still.
Oh, Crispy's right on the back of Jib Jab now.
I think he might have made a bit of contact with the rear end, I think. He's got so much more grip. But here we are. I think their overtaking might start, because Midzi might fancy getting past Crispy if he's not careful.
Yes, he might.
Yes, I think Crispy just had so much more grip than Jib Jab, and kind of just had to... I kind of just ran into the back of him a little bit. Hopefully he's not got any damage from it, but here we are. Is he going to make the move, and is Midzi going to capitalise on this? Jib Jab using quite a lot of battery to defend. Crispy using quite a lot of battery to attack. And can he make the move stick here? No, he is not close enough. Very interesting. He's... definitely got the better pace, definitely got the better tyres, but at the moment cannot find the way through, can Crispy?
No, he can't. And obviously, Jib Jab and YOLO Gamer especially both do very well on their age mediums, but it doesn't appear that the fresh mediums have come to light yet, and then not be able to pass Crispy. Crispy hasn't been able to pass Jib Jab or YOLO Gamer ahead. Wow.
Yes. And what this does do is it keeps the field nice and close as well, which is something we do love to see. As once again, Crispy, he's not using any battery at the moment yet. Midzi is using a bit of battery, perhaps trying to catch Crispy napping a little bit.
YOLO Gamer has a lot of time to Jib Jab here.
Yes, YOLO Gamer, of course, wants to keep Jib Jab within his DRS so that he can keep this track position. as DRS is now enabled. And Dylan's right on the back of Midzi. Is he going to think about making a move into turn 1 here? I know that Dylan thought about it, but he elected not to. But here we are, DRS enabled, and this is potentially the point where Crispy could make a move, but Jib Jab is of course going to have that battery, is going to have that DRS advantage as well. Is Jib Jab going to make a pass on YOLO Gamer here? Look at that, they're all within this one big DRS train. Here we are. Jib Jab round the outside of YOLO Gamer. Does he make the move stick? Yes, he does.
The straight one massive DRS train now. From first.
It is a gigantic DRS train. I think everyone apart from YOLO Gamer had DRS that lap.
Oh my god, this is certainly something.
Yes, and this is just maximum pressure really. You make a spin, you will be last. You make a mistake, you will be last.
You get a penalty, you will go down the hell of a lot. Playing lap 14.
Indeed, still it is Jib Jab and YOLO Gamer who are 1 and 2. They have not been overtaken yet. But Crispy and Midzi do have a decent bit of battery, especially Crispy. And is Crispy going to maybe use it to get past YOLO Gamer into this final chicane here? No, he is not. So unless he maybe just chucks a move up his inside or something, I don't think this is going to be happening yet for Crispy.
As YOLO Gamer just pushed across, from the inside, you could surely see a move. I believe everyone will have the arrows again. Oh, I thought I had the arrows for that. Sorry. I think we're still a bit of a stick with me here.
But it is still as you were, though.
We now see all guys with the arrest again down the straight. Oh my god. Oh, you're looking very skilled on that. Oh, ready on there. It could be a move. Launch.
This might give Crispy a chance. He will have a bit more battery than him. And if he makes this move, then this will be one less position. This will be one more position he has ahead of Midzi. He thinks about it, but he cannot make it stick. He still can't make it stick. He is not taking that risk. YOLO Gamer going very defensive, and Crispy, I think, has to back out of it there. Otherwise, he would have potentially ended up on the grass there.
It is a bit like YOLO Gamer, like slightly break us Crispy here, but I'm not 100% sure. But then it's a very sketchy defensive move going down into a bit of what a really right hand corner called. Bottles, I think.
Bruxelles, I believe that.
Bruxelles.
Right.
One, yeah, not one. It looks like it's very sketchy defending from. Oh, YOLO Gamer up, right? YOLO Gamer round.
YOLO Gamer is round, and that does definitely free up Crispy. But he has a big issue now. He has a huge issue now, and that is that he does no longer have DRS. And so he is potentially going to get passed by Midzi before he can get past Jib Jab. So Midzi has seen this opportunity here. And if he does this right, Midzi, he is potentially going to make a move into the bus stop here. Here we go. If he does this right, then he could potentially...
Yeah, he did not go for the move.
Get that crucial track position and get past Jib Jab first, which I think is potentially going to decide this race. This turn 1 is absolutely critical.
Critical, yes, it is.
Crispy needs to get within the Crispy needs to get within the second, but he needs to gain 4/10 out of one corner. I think he's trying his absolute utmost with his battery, but he's not going to do it. So here we are. Here we are. Here comes Midzi. Is Midzi 15 going to try and make his move for the lead here? I feel like this is really now or never for him, as Crispy will get DRS otherwise. Is he going to do it? Crispy's going to go defensive. I think Midzi's going to go around the outside here. No, he is not. He thinks better of it and does not take the position.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay. But yes, I mean, personally, I think Midzi didn't use that much of his battery as he could have, and I'm partly wondering whether that is the right decision for Midzi, as if he'd have got past Jib Jab quickly on the following lap, then well, he could have potentially used that to kind of springboard ahead of Crispy, but biding his time, waiting to the end of the race. I guess playing the long game. as there's a move up further down. That is V2X Combat being overtaken by Race Roller, who is on the... V2 is on the hard tyres, and Bez's and Race Roller on the mediums. Bez is going to go up the inside into the final chicane here. Does he make it stick? Oh, there's a little bit of lag. He's kind of ghosted through him in a weird way. I'm not entirely sure what that was. I'm not entirely sure who is at fault for that lag, but yes, this is very feisty. Ghost Colt sticks his nose in as well. But back to the fight for the lead, and Midzi and Crispy potentially going to make the move on Jib Jab here.
Much more speed needs to hit.
Yes, and here we go. Here comes Midzi. He's going to get past Jib Jab. Is he going to get past Crispy here as well? Jib Jab does not elect to fight them too hard. He knows that they're in a different race to him. So rather sensibly just doesn't use his battery and lets them past. Although in saying that, Dylan did stick a wheel in on his inside, and Jib Jab cut that one off. He's not going to be overtaken that easily.
The man who always gets to wash out competition here, and Dominic Reyes comes from P4. As the only returns to have this race are Division, Alpen, and FRT LTDK.
Indeed, as now Dylan is...
You can see a move up to the inside the plus stop here.
Past Jib Jab here. Yes, and he's got a lot more battery here, so potentially use this extra ERS to get closer to Midzi and Crispy. Maybe around the outside of Jib Jab is Dylan. And yes, Jib Jab breaks early.
Let him pass.
Yep, very sensible driving from Jib Jab. He's not lost himself too much time, and well, at the moment he's almost kind of just banking on a safety car here. If a safety car comes out, then Jib Jab is back into this race, but before that safety car comes out, he's just sitting duck on his tyres. And now let's have a look at Para. Para's going to get past Jib Jab here.
Yes. Yep.
And yes, Para now currently in that effective P3 because of Dylan's penalty.
You're only going for 44.3, but he is on 6th compound tyre, and on the new 6th compound tyre, obviously he will be a lot faster than the drivers ahead of him, but I don't believe he'll catch them towards the end, as he is currently residing 25 seconds back.
Yes, he's pretty much out of this race. And the next person to potentially overtake Jib Jab is going to be UK Beast Assassin. Of course, has that penalty, but did have that amazing start as well.
He has had a wonder of a race there. Obviously, still at trouble.
And looking at this, all there's yellow flag. Jitto has spun around. Has anyone else gone other than Jitto? No, I think it is just Jitto. And now Race Roller, kind of continuing his recovery drive, is right up the back of Silly Bunny. Is Roller going to make a move, or is he going to potentially wait for that next DRS? If he could springboard himself up, then he could potentially still be looking at a top 5 finish, Roller, and that'd be an absolute brilliant recovery from that first lap spin.
It will be, yes, I agree. Roller has had an absolutely amazing recovery, a bit like fully minus the standard from 2019. Red Bull comeback of Albon off starting from the back of the 17th, I believe it was.
Yes, indeed, that is a perfect analogy for it. As Bunny's using quite a bit of battery to try and defend, but
Race Roller beats past him.
Race Roller gets the position, and meanwhile, Beast gets past Jib Jab as well. And now Race Roller's really got to try and close in on Jib Jab here and get Jib Jab's DRS to protect him. And looking at this, look at Crispy's battery compared to Midzi and Dylan. Look at compared to Midzi in particular. Crispy's got a lot more battery than Midzi. So even though Crispy's leading this race, he does definitely have that little bit of battery in reserve to help out if Midzi gets close to him. He's going to need quite a lot of it to defend, of course, because the DRS is very powerful here, but looking good as Crispy 2001. And this extra battery is going to force Midzi to use it, because otherwise if he doesn't, then Midzi could potentially be under threat from Dylan as well. He's using a lot of his battery here, Dylan. Is he going to go up the inside into the bus stop? Is he going to make a move into the bus stop? Which way does he choose, inside or out? Oh, he thinks about the inside, but that's where Midzi had covered him off, and they do make contact here. Dylan will say that Midzi moved twice under braking. Midzi will say that he covered the inside and the gap was never there. And you can see Dylan, he's using all sorts of different lines. That is the sign of someone who is a bit frustrated, really. He's a bit frustrated and he wants to get that position to pull that gap.
I'm also looking at the fact that
here we are from Dylan.
Jib-Jab is 100% bike and safety car. Sorry, Jib-Jab hasn't pitted it. He's definitely banking on safety car, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Jib-Jab's doing the no-stop, bro. He's doing the no-stop.
But your name's not Esteban Ocon. You need to stop, please.
But anyway, now Dylan does get past Midzi with that.
Oh, side drive is battling.
DRS.
Side drive is battling both of Jam and Ham.
Yes, Jam's going up the inside into themselves. They're going to be going side by side here, and these two, I know, as racers have a lot of respect for each other, and they're giving each other plenty of room here. And even though this is only for P12, this is two SLR greats battling it out wheel to wheel, and that is what you love to see. Two championship winners in SLR, and Jam makes a brilliant move up the inside of Puon. I'm sure he'll enjoy that one. And his brother's going to get on the act as well. Is he going to make the move stick? Zydred is in a Jam and Ham sandwich, and he is definitely, definitely outnumbered by the brothers, but this is great racing.
Great. Christian, was you in broadcast view at Prominent Were you on board?
Say again?
Please say you were in the broadcast view for that move. That would be sick. Post up.
I was in the broadcast view for that move.
Thank you.
It was a very nice camera angle of Jam going up the inside. I quite enjoyed it.
Overtaken the lead.
I was looking at this. Midzi has nearly lost the second to Dylan, and it's right on the edge here. And Dylan, if he can break that second, could potentially still be on for a podium here. As now Midzi's lost that DRS, and Para's going to get past him here. Midzi's used a lot of his battery, and here comes Paraquix.
Yep, here comes
Up the inside, and Para takes the position. He's up 3 positions, started 6th, and is running very, very well as Race Roller takes P6 from the Jib Jab, and is due to gain at least 1 position on Beast. A very, very good recovery from Race Roller indeed.
It is, as we still wait, after Era currently sat crying in their pit box because one of their guys hasn't pitted yet.
Yes, I think now is a time where the safety car is not going to come out Jib Jab. It was worth a go. It was definitely worth a go. But
I just don't think he's pitted and just got.
I don't think so. Unless he's just doing a drive to the tyres explode challenge. I expect that one as well.
We'll probably see him peeling into the pits at the end of the track.
As we now have 4 laps remaining, and well, if anything, it's going to be between the former teammates of Dylan of Paraquix and Crispy for the victory. Dylan is in between them, of course, but has that time penalty as Jib Jab finally gets into the pits.
Well done, Jib Jab.
And that's going to move Briggs up into the points.
Well, yeah, so we move Jam and Ham in close contention, 4 points. And that will, yes, I'll find that as well. Same one with Jam, because see Jam gets the points here.
Yes, he's got about the similar kind of battery to Briggs. As the yellow flag is set to 1 as Silly Bunny is out.
Oh, there is
and as that happened, Race Roller got past
Jib Jab, you lucky man.
There is a safety car, and
I only said that 1 lap longer.
Wow.
1 lap longer, Jib Jab. 1 lap longer. could have been.
Yes, and what do these drivers do here? There isn't that many laps remaining. It's going to come in next lap. Do you take that pit stop, or do you just think that's going to lose me so much track position? I think these drivers have got to stay out here, but the issue with someone like Crispy here with this safety car is everyone behind him could quite easily box.
Who's Wolf Shaman? Wolf Shaman.
I think he's a Division 3 driver and probably doesn't realise that this is an official race. But yes, if you're watching, can you please leave the lobby, Wolf Shaman?
Is it Wolf? Is it Wolf Shaman?
Because this is an actual race.
This is the elite division of SLR.
Indeed, this is the creme de la creme of all the drivers. But here we are. How many of these are going to pit here? I think people like Ham and Jam, it could be worth them boxing, for example. Ham, Jam, Zydrad, Riggs, Bezzers, as they're near the back of this train anyway, and it's worth that gamble. Here we are. None of these are going in the pits, I don't think. Is Race Roller? Nope. Is Beast? Nope. Is V2? Nope.
Is Jam?
Bezzers isn't. Riggs isn't.
Jam is.
Jam is.
Jam is.
As is Ham. As is Zydrad.
Jitto doesn't.
Jitto is taking that track position on them. But yes. Here we are. Obviously they're going to drop behind Jib Jab, and this is going to give Jib Jab some extra positions. Of course, on his fresh soft tyres, but wow, I mean, this safety car gives Crispy one more task to do, one more thing to get right before the end of this race, before he can be crowned the victor of the Belgian Grand Prix.
It's certainly been some sort of topsy-turvy race here, I can say. It's also heavily hampered. They look at the guys with penalties as well, because everyone's now very much bunched up for this race.
Indeed, and now Race Roller and Midzi, they were, I believe Midzi was in like P2 or P3 at the end of lap 1, and Race Roller was plumb last, the two main championship contenders, and now they're potentially going to battle each other on track for position, so could potentially be spicy. And how will these soft tyre runners fare near the end of this race? They're only going to have a couple of laps here, but
sorry, I've been at work with that tired. In this lap, will Yoda get hampered by fighting off boxing again? Or will he catch up right to the bottom chicane? It's going to be a very much like Yoda game has a full-on symbiote now, no mistakes, otherwise he will be essentially out of the race. Well, he's out of the race completely, he has 2 penalties I think, but
he's got 6 seconds of penalties, but he's going to want to fight in this. As the 2 Aston Martins are the 2 drivers running lower at the bottom.
And he actually has.
Here we are. Crispy's going to back up the fields. YOLO Gamer is back for everyone. YOLO Gamer has caught up. Everyone is here. Anything can happen. As we're going to get the field away once again for this 2-lap sprint race, this 2-lap shootout. And Bezzers and Riggs have made contact with each other. And Bezzers has got a 5-place grid penalty. But here we go. We are away. Crispy has a full battery and Dylan will not have DRS. But is Dylan going to potentially get Crispy on slipstream? He's got a good exit out of turn 1 as Crispy.
Yeah, we've got very likely 3 camps ahead here, but will both these be raising their battery in A, or staying, or holding their competition, or moving?
Here we are. Crispy's weaving all kinds of ways.
3 seconds.
Yeah, that is crucial for his race. As further back, Jitto is going to make a move on Riggs here, is he? Oh, I'm not sure. Was Ghost Colt's there as well?
As Ham
has made a bit of a mistake. He's dropped a few positions.
Down to the
What
last.
about Ghost Colt? Ghost Colt is that lead driver on the softs, and he's got past Jitto already. How far up can Ghost Colt get on these tyres? Next up is Riggs.
Like,
Very good run on Riggs
last
here.
lap here, but also be on pure pace and no DRS.
As here he goes up the inside of Riggs, but cannot make the move stick.
And
As Jitto, I think, has had a spin and is out of the session.
Is there a penalty
Does
for
retire
on
on
the
track.
track? Dylan's out!
As Dylan's out! Dylan has crashed. I don't know how that happened, but Dylan, the pole position sitter, is out of this race. He has lost it at Stavolo on the penultimate lap, and God, that is absolutely heartbreaking from Dylan. He was definitely on for a good result. It was probably not going to be a podium, but still was going to be very strong, and he's now out, so that bolsters everyone up a position.
Race wallet is very much.
Of course, these guys are still fighting it out. These guys on the soft compound tyre. This absolute carnage here. Jam moves his way up into ninth, gets past Riggs. And this is going to be 3 wide into Eau Rouge. This is going to be 3 wide into Eau Rouge. Be careful, guys. Although there's a battle between the championship leaders here, is Race Roller going to send it on Lindsay? No, he is not. He elects to stay behind him.
Or nothing for this podium position now. Race Roller could have a smashed recovery here. UK Beach drop is less than expected because other people penalties behind him, but he'll still drop a fair few. Right, you need to see like a last burst to drop everything. Race Rollers, drop everything you can and just get past midfield. You have Race Rollers had an amazing race regardless. He come last in lap 1 in 26 and P4. He had a great race himself.
He has, and another person who's had a great race is the second driver on softs, Jam, who is in P9, and he could potentially gain all these positions on Beast, V2, Bezos and Ghost when their penalties are served. But here we are. Crispy is going to go onto the final corner. Parrot is giving absolutely everything he can get, giving absolutely all of his ERS, but I think he's used all of it now. As Riggs picks up a penalty, but here goes Race Roller. He has a bit more battery than Mitzi. Is he going to think about it? No, he's not. But Crispy is going to cross the line now and claim the victory. Para comes P2, Mitzi comes P3, Roller just a 10th behind. As look at that V2 Beast Ghost, all side by side, and Jam claims 5th and gets ahead of all of them. Look at how close all of these drivers were. They were going side by side, basically all of them up until the final corner. V2 gets 6th, Beast gets 7th.
What a race.
Jib Jab gets 8th after that safety car. And wow, what an ending to that race. We'll be able to see position changes, but yes, I'm going to get everyone into the party who got the podiums, but it is Crispy. His first race in the top division this season as a reserve, and it's a victory.
He pulled another Andrew.
Well, I mean, he has raced before and he has got victories this season, but he dropped down to a reserve and he has won in the Mercedes team as well as winning in the McLaren team earlier on this season. But Crispy, Power and Midzi are your podium. This is the same podium in a slightly different order to what we had in France. But yes, these three back on the podium. And I mean, a great drive for all of them. Para making the moves when it counted. And yes, but how about the likes of B starting last, finishing 7th? How about Jam with his no penalties going up to P5 in the McLaren?
Yeah.
Sure, he'll be very, very happy with that.
Oh.
So yes, just getting everyone in the party. It's got Crispy and Midzi to go.
I thoroughly enjoyed all 3 races I've had the opportunity to do commentary over since I've joined SLRT. I've done the Div 2 and 3 for Britain, and now the McKeon division for Belgium.
Also, one thing I could potentially add is that Bezos in P11, of course, got a penalty for a collision under the safety car. So there is a possibility that Bezos could move over to P5 in this race as well, from P11.
Pending investigation.
If he has clipped his incident.
Yeah, pending investigation. I believe for the interviews will start as P3. I believe was it was P3? Power like
P3 was Midzi. Yeah.
So
So
Midzi,
yeah,
can
starting
you
off with
please? Does Minty have a mic?
Yes. Middy does have a mic. I expected to hear some songs from his mic at the beginning of the race and the pre-race party. But yes, I'm gonna go. Yeah. So Midzi, you qualified in P3, finished P3, but how do you feel about that race? Are you happy with your podium, or do you feel there was maybe more? Maybe the victory there.
Oh, I wouldn't say the victory, but I'd say definitely a better result because I'm not really sure what Dylan was doing the final few laps, but he almost killed me. So that was great. But yeah, I don't know. It was decent quality, and then a pretty decent race to be fair. Crispy's obviously really quick, so I wasn't really expecting to beat him, but it was good to stay with him. And then yeah, just in a few laps, I made little mistakes, and then Dylan, not really sure what he's doing. If he didn't use ABS, I think me and him would have both ended up into the wall or something.
Do
That
you
was great.
think that your result could have been changed if you got past Jib Jab and you're looking a lot earlier than you did? Could your race have possibly been changed?
No, I think it was just down to the final few laps because whatever Dylan was trying to do, he lost me too much time. It was just that really. It wasn't yellow and Jib Jab.
You were near Dylan at the time. You see what happened to him to cause DNF?
Yeah, he just lost it on the curb.
Oh, okay.
Obviously pushing, trying to get near to Crispy, just lost it. But yeah, it's good anyway. Should be good points. And Bezos probably will get that penalty removed. So.
Another question as well. Well, we saw the driver in P2 in the championship race roller just behind you. Within a couple of tenths in the end to the line, how are you kind of feeling on that last lap? Did you think maybe... did you feel confident you could stay ahead of him? How was that kind of like pressure on the final lap? Obviously looking ahead potentially for other people to make up positions on them, but how was that little pressure from behind, and how yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to try and stay within the slipstream of power. I knew I'd be alright, but yeah, race one got pretty close, obviously. I knew unless he went for a pretty audacious move, I should be alright. But yeah, well done to Crispy again anyway.
Yeah. And now on to the P2 driver, and that is Paraquix. Well, you've had a few races off the podium, Para, but now you're finally back on it, and how do you feel with that race? Qualified in P6, made some moves at the right time, and stayed out of trouble, stayed out of penalties, and you get yourself a P2 behind your old teammate Crispy. Of course, if Crispy was still in the McLaren, it would have been a McLaren 1-2, which I'm sure you'd have been even happier with, but a P2 for yourself, how do you feel?
I feel mixed. It was a good race, but obviously a lot of people made mistakes, which and people battled, so I had an advantage of that. And I saved my battery in the end. I saw everyone use it up, so I could overtake everyone. And then I saw Dylan bottle it, and I was like, okay, P2, that's fine, but I'm still not sure about I might get penalties, so might not be the end result.
Well, yes, I mean, of course, like, that's something, obviously, for the stewards' room, but I mean, still a strong drive for yourself to end up in P2 at the flag, anyway.
Yeah, well done to Crispy and the rest, and Mitzi on the podium.
Yeah.
Feel bad for them, though.
Yeah, well done to
yep.
Okay, we'll move on to the winner now, who Crispy 2001, mate. Obviously, you did initially jump Dylan off the start, but I believe he came back at you by the end, but you managed to get back past him. Obviously, safety car happened, and he spun at the... Oh, sorry, I'm getting muddled up here. Did you look more... Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Sam, you do it.
Do you want me to take over?
I can't put words on it.
Yes. Well, Crispy, obviously, you moved down to a reserve a few races ago, and I mean, at the start of this week, you didn't really know whether you were going to be racing this weekend or not. But you've hopped into the race, hopped into Belgium, hopped into the Mercedes car, giving the Mercedes team points, and not only have you given them points, you've given them 25. So, how do you feel?
No, yeah, very happy. It was a good race. I actually quite enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I think at the very start, I got a better start than Dylan. It was obviously really, really close. I was in front, obviously, down the main straight. He obviously tried to make another move on me, but I just sort of like had the better traction, had the better run, and managed to stay ahead of him. And then, sort of from then, I think throughout the race as a whole, I felt my pace was really, really good, and I just kept it really consistent. The safety car was quite well timed, to be honest, for everyone, so that obviously helped a bit. I think the period where I was stuck behind Yola Gamer and Jib Jab for a few laps was it was a little bit frustrating. It got close a couple of times, but in the end, nothing doing there. But no, in the end, I think I'm really happy with the win. It was a good race. I enjoyed it a lot, and I say that was like you kind of said about me becoming a reserve. I think I can just try and enjoy the races a bit more now, and not have not have so much pressure in a way. Like just kind of racing without pressure, and I kind of did that, and the result delivered.
I know what I want to say now.
Really enjoyed it.
Right, so
was a great drive as well. And I mean, that first lap move back on Dylan as well. We saw you get past him on turn one. Him get past you at Lecombe. You get back past him a couple of corners later. Probably enjoyed that one, I imagine, a lot.
No, it was good. I mean, you can't go wrong with a bit of wheel to wheel hard racing when it's obviously done right and it's clean. It was good. So I managed to come out on top just about. So it was good. And just GG to Meaty and Power as well for the podiums.
Right.
Yes.
I now know what I want to say. Obviously, Dylan got a penalty on lap 1. You were, I can't remember if you were ahead of him or behind him at the time, but what was your reaction to him getting a penalty, or do you not think much about it, just continue the race as you do?
I mean, I think he probably got a couple of warnings because of obviously we were bad rules of one another.
Yeah.
We were very close, So obviously I saw it straight away. Obviously got it very early on. I mean, I'm not really too bothered about penalties, to be honest. I mean, it is what it is, really. I know drivers around me have a penalty, so as long as I just stay with them or stay ahead of them, whatever, then I'll end up finishing ahead if obviously I keep my race penalty free, which I did.
You had some absolutely amazing race there. Well done on the win to you, mate.
Thank you, mate.
That was absolutely amazing.
Yes, and yes, thank you all for watching. That was a brilliant race, and I'm hearing reports that the stewards' room is going to be very busy after it, but hopefully you all enjoyed it at home, and join us next week for the Netherlands. Race 1 at the Netherlands is F2 on Thursday, so please join us then. Thank you for watching.